Okay, what you'll need for this project is, to start out with, you will need these boots and this little Santa jacket, and these are both ornaments, and I think they were $2.48 plus tax each at Walmart. You will need a styrofoam cone, 6.5 inches, I believe this is. You will need some string, pom-pom for the hat. You will need a wooden bead for the nose. You will need a 10-inch cylinder, 1-inch cylinder, by which you can, I will put a link in the description box, which I got a bunch of them off of Amazon, but I did find some at some Dollar Trees. A beard, approximately 2 by 2. For the pants, you will need to have a 7.5 inch wide by 6.5 inch long, approximately, and you want to make sure that the wide part is the part that stretches on your fabric. And then for the gloves, you can either use felt, or you can use some kind of a velveteen-like, and this is 5.5 inches wide by 4.5 inches long. And then for the hat, you will need a 10.5 inch long by 10 inch wide. So again, make sure the wide part is the stretch part. So that's what you'll need for this project, and it's going to be a little Santa. Okay, to start this, first thing you're going to do is do the clothes. Get this out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and take the glove. Again, make sure it's on the, that the stretchy side is the side that you are doing the widest part. So you're going to take your glove, and this is the stretchy part, so we're going to put it this way, and you're going to trace around that. And I just used my chalk. I don't know where it went at the moment. And I just went around it with my chalk. And just go around it, and you will get the outline, and then you will get these. And when I sewed it, and if you're using felt, you can do either, you can just keep them together, and you can sew around that, or you can just glue them together, or you can glue them right sides together and turn them with glue. I don't think that's going to be too easy to do on velveteen or velvet. And then you want to take and, after you sew those, and just cut around the edges. And then we'll be turning those right side out in a minute. Okay, for your hat, again, find your stretchy part, and then take it and fold it in half, and then just run a line. Start a little bit beforehand, and just run it up straight to the top. And then don't cut it out at this point. Just go ahead and sew it. And then after you're done sewing it, that's when you will trim the seam and turn it. And the same thing for these. Make sure that you just leave it on this. Don't cut around it before you sew it. It's a lot easier to do it. Now for the pants, you do have to cut those directly out. So I have a pants pattern here. Okay, so I have a pants pattern here that I used from an old doll pattern that I had that I traced over. So again, see, this side is not stretching. So this is going to be the side you are going to want to make sure that that's what you have it on. This part will go on a fold. And you can just trace around there with whatever you have. And then cut your pants out. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and cut around the pants. cutting the bottom straight. And then we're going to open them up, both sides. Okay, and then figure out which ones match. So it's this one. Okay, so these match together, so you're going to go ahead and you're going to sew or glue right here. Just going to pin it for the moment, just to show you. Okay, so you want to sew these parts, and then you're going to take it and you're going to leave it inside out, and you're going to sew this seam. So that's what's going to make your pants. So I already have one done. So let me take it back. Okay, so we've sewn. Okay, so we don't have side seams because we put it on a fold. That's why you put it on a fold. And then we sewed both of these seams. And then we sewed the inseam. And then we turned it right side out. Okay, then we have sewn our hat. And we're going to sew this right down the line. And then we're going to bring it right side out like this. And then we are going to take approximately 2 inches and turn it up to the inside, and you can iron that, or you can glue it, whatever you want to do there. And glue that up. I'm not going to do either because it'll all get together anyways when it goes on his head. Okay, so we're turning our mitts right side out. So just try to get a hold of both of that together where your opening is here. This one's a little bit more snug than the other one was. So just turn that right side out. Get that thumb out. Push it out. It's always best to have a chopstick or something of that sort, or those sticks that come in the fiber fill. If you use fiber fill, you'll know what I mean. They don't really do much for fiber fill, but they work great for this type of thing. So okay, now on the coat, unfortunately it has the hanger on. I wish I could have saved the hanger because I could have used that for something. But you want to cut this off, and then you want to cut the hanger off. So you just need to cut the hanger off there and there. Just don't want to cut it any farther than the fur. So just try to get it off. This one is a little better than the other one was. The other one, the hanger was way inside. Okay, then we want to stick our mittens. This one needs out a little bit more yet. Okay, and I'm doing it with the thumbs pointing towards his sides, because if you put your hands to the side, you will see that's how your hands are. So you can glue those gloves right in there. I'm not going to put anything in his sleeve right now. I haven't decided whether I was going to or not yet. So there they're glued in. Now if you want, you could stuff his arms, and that would make them a little puffy. I wouldn't put too much in there, but you might put just a little bit. That looks pretty good. So yeah, I would stuff his arms just a little bit. Okay, so this is kind of just showing you here how it is. So that stuffing his arms was a good idea. And we'll be pulling this down like this, but let's not, don't do that yet. Okay, I did decide to use my thin doll sticks to help hold these foam things in. So you will need a couple doll sticks, and I'll put that in the beginning when I do my intro. Okay, these are weights, hex nuts, 5/16 hex nuts, and I'm going to drop a couple of those in the front just to kind of give it a little bit of weight. I think I'm going to do 3 in each toe, and I think these will keep them in there. You can put some glue if you have a glue gun that'll go far enough down there. I'll try it and see what happens. Just don't get the glue into the into that part of the shoe. See if we can catch it in there. Okay, now you can cover this if you want with anything you want because of the way it's rough. That it's a little bit hard to get the top on it and stuff, but it will all be covered. So if you you can work with it and it'll come down. Okay, so next step we are going to do the legs, and we're not going to put them in the shoes yet. We're going to go ahead and glue them onto the styrofoam cone. Okay, this one came out, so we will stick that back in there. So measure to make sure that they're approximately the same. And then let's go ahead and get a little bit of glue inside there. Stick your gun right into the hole. And it is going to burn it, burn a hole in it. Okay, and then remember where you had you want them to be fairly even and pretty much centered, maybe just a drop to the front. And again, it's going to make a hole in your cone. So make sure that they're at least inside. You don't want them sticking out of the side of the cone. Hold on while I get rid of this. You could put a little bit up around the cone too if you want, like in here. And I'm using the best side, the flattest side to the inside the shoe. Now, while we're waiting for a second for this to dry, I just want to tell you that when you're using either a pool noodle or actually using anything, even if you're doing a sock gnome or a pool noodle, a cone, any of it, these pins. Now I got a whole box of these for 1.5 inches. Sorry, I had to get my pumpkin pies, check them. I'm making them so I can freeze them, so that much is out of the way for Thanksgiving. Okay, so we have this in, and oh, I was telling you about the pins. So I get these pins at Walmart, and they're 1.5 inches, and like I said, they're good for the styrofoam, the sock ones, because they'll go in the stuffing or anything to temporarily hold everything in place. So now what we're going to do next is go ahead and put the pants on, and you can try it on both sides and see which side looks the best. Now I'm just going to temporarily put everything on, and what I'm going to do here is eventually I will go ahead and put a string around his waist. We'll do a few little glue drops to keep the pants in. And you can stuff that if you want, and I tried that, but it didn't look all that well. So at this time, I'm just going to go ahead and put that kind of on there. And then I'm just going to set these inside the shoe. I'm not going to glue anything yet. Fleece does pick up a lot of fur and stuff, so these will stay there, so we don't have to worry about pinning those right now. Okay, then we're going to take, and you're going to kind of adjust your top, your jacket. And pull that down as far as it'll go down in the back and the front. And this particular jacket does not work well on a pool noodle. I already tried it. So then you're going to want to adjust the pants and stuff like that. And we can do all that later after we get it, because we're going to, once we glue it in here, we'll glue the bottom onto the shoe, and then we will adjust the pants. And the pants are going to be kind of like he's got a little bit of a belly, so you could put a little bit down here if you want a little bit of stuffing. Okay, and then what I do with the pins is I go ahead and decide where exactly I do want the beard. And I did want this a little bit lower because of the hat. So unfortunately it covers his belt, the beard, but you can't do much about that. So I kind of set it right there on the jacket. And this is just temporarily, and I just kind of put the pins there. Now this is the cool thing that you can do. So you can take and put 2 pins. Don't stick them in all the way, just kind of leave them out like that. And put one on the other side fairly close, but a little bit far, and put them in there pretty straight. And then just set your nose on there, and your nose will stay there. Let me get this a little closer here. Okay, and then your nose will stay there, and then you can take your hat, and if you want your hat to bend, then you need to take a pipe cleaner and run it down your seam on both sides. I'm not going to do that today. I think I'm just going to stuff it. I kind of want it to stand up, and then you can see, you can get an idea of how you want it. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble again. I think my went down, but there he's kind of there's his hat. So I've just pinned him all together right now, so everything is together. And the only other thing that is going to go is going to be this fur, this yarn fur. And I get this at Joann. I believe I got it when it was on sale. And it's not white, so it's a little bit of an off-white, but it still works well. So, and then we're just going to go, around his nose and stuff so that his hat has it on too. Okay, so let's pull these back out. Leave the pants on. Set the pants down some. And then just put some glue on the bottom of each side. Just the glue. Don't stick your glue gun in or anything, or it'll make a hole. And then carefully, so you don't hit the sides, and get that all the way down. Don't worry about the pants right now. Just make sure you're getting them straight. I have to turn them to me to make sure I've got them straight. Some of the Walmart shoes don't have a hole in it like this, but these are perfect. And I mean, they look just like the Santa boots, so they're already perfect. But they are velvety too, so of course they pick up everything. So go ahead and, let that dry. And then just take a stick or whatever you have and start putting his pants down inside there. Now we can pull them back up, but make sure they're down inside first. You can kind of hold that. And then just take a little bit of glue and glue his pants in the front where you want them. You can also use a gathering stitch and go around if you feel like it. I'm just going to put a little bit here in the back where the pinches are. And then if you want, you can put a couple of drops on the side. If you want to. I'm just going to take a little bit of this rope and tie it around a couple of times. I didn't cut a long enough piece to do it a couple of times, so I guess I'll just do it once. And double knot it. You can even triple knot it if you want. Okay, sorry about that. Saw this beautiful sunset out my window. Had to go take the picture. We do get some beautiful sunsets here when we get clouds, which isn't too often here in the desert. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is go ahead and take our jacket, and we're going to put that on. So just bring it through the top. Get that nice and straight on there. I've got it all crooked right now. And keep pulling that down. You want it to get it down as far as you can on that comb. And for the bead, you can use any bead you want, any size you want. Just keep moving it around. I know it's a little bit harder if you didn't put some kind of smooth fabric on there. Just get that nice and flush with everything. Okay, then again, let's decide where we're going to put our, brush out your beard a little bit. So when you put the glue on it, now I did round this off a little bit, and it's approximately 2.5, about 2.5 by 2.5. So I'm going to bring this down because after I pinned it, I just want to make sure again. Yeah, that looks about right. So I'm going to go ahead and pin it, and then I'll do a little bit of gluing, and then I'll remove my pin. That way it stays. Okay, so there's the top of the beard, and then you can glue this part down if you want, but if you want his belt to show, then I would just glue it above his belt. If you want, I mean, you're not going to get it to show, but if you want people to know that it's there, or, you know, in case case if you're going to sell them or whatever, if you ever want to see the little buckle. It's a shame that we got to cover the buckle up. But we could make Mrs. Santa Claus, and then she would have braids on the side, and then it wouldn't be covered up. But then you would probably have to do a little bit more covering with the cone too. Got a little bit of that. I'm going to stick it in there. It's a little bit of that hanger that was on there. I'm going to kind of stick it into the cone. There you go. Okay, and then I'm going to take and glue my pom-pom to the top. You can put a jingle bell up there too if you want. Forgot to have my glue thing here. Kind of wished I had sewn it up there. So just hold that on for a second until it dries. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and I am going to stuff my hat. Try to get a piece of stuffing that's all in one. It usually works better in the hats. That looks pretty good. You can do a little peek in the back too if you want, where it's more peak, you know, where there's a little peak like, and then it goes down cuter in the back. Okay, now I'm just going to one more time, let's put our hat on and decide where we want seam in the back. I'm going to throw that up there a little bit still. If you ever have trouble, if you do amigurumi or stuffed animals or anything like that, if you ever have trouble getting your stuffing started in there, just use a pencil with an eraser on the back, and that helps a lot. Can't get too much in there. I'm just going to put a drop of glue on this to keep it in there. Okay, so let's try it on one more time. Let's throw this out. And make sure of where I want that bead to go for his nose. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. Make sure you get it in the middle. I have a bad habit of not getting my bead in the middle. I wish these beads had a hole in them. Okay, we got his nose on, and now we're just going to go ahead and get his hat on. Find the middle of his back to get that back there, and I'm just going to pin it for the moment. And of course, I'm finding right exactly where I put that one drop of glue. and then adjust the front. See if that's how far back you want it. This one we don't need to worry so much about getting it over his shoulders that much because it's because that jacket already is nice. So yeah, that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and do the front. Just around the nose there. And of course I get glue on the nose where it doesn't belong. So you want it to kind of go on the sides of the nose to help hold the nose on there. And then just a little bit around the sides by the sleeves. Just got the glue again. That stuff sure stays hot quick all long time. Okay, and then we're just going to bring it down here in the back. See if I can do it without burning myself. Okay, and then I have this yarn, which I've used in my other videos. Like I said, I get it at Joann. Brush his little beard here a little bit. Just out of the way so we don't get it caught in there. And okay, and then starting in the back, we're just going to glue that around. So I would put it on the hat rather than the fur. It would be really hard to have it on the fur. And over here. And right around the front. Try to be careful, you don't want to cover up the nose. And you can go around once or twice. I have some smaller in there too that my daughter got that's actual white, but it has like a dark thing on it too. It doesn't make sense that it's done, but you can usually cover the dark up. So just continue around to the other side. And I would overlap it a little bit. So just go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the other yarn and just grab that piece that you have left there. And just hold it on there. And then you can just take his beard and you can comb it down. You can make a little mustache by doing it out this way. Give him little cat whiskers. And just adjust his hat. And you can kind of pull that stuffing wherever you want it. And there he is. So that didn't take too long. It was really easy already having the jacket made and having the little boots. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, or evening really, because it's evening here. And keep yourself safe. And I will see you soon.